Hello everyone, this is Allie from Kidzu. Today I'm going to tell you everything you need to know to participate in the City Nature Challenge. So first, what is the City Nature Challenge? It is a worldwide event that takes place over 4 days where people everywhere will observe and identify species or living things. This kind of event is called a BioBlitz. Now, traditionally, this event was a competition between different cities to see who could get the most people participating, the most species, and the most observations. But in light of the pandemic, we're taking a more collaborative approach, and we're all going to be working together to observe living things. Now, this year, the event is taking place between April 30th and May 3rd, and you can find more details on their website. So why participate in the City Nature Challenge? Well, it's a fun activity you can do safely outside, and it will help you learn more about the natural world. Also, by participating in the challenge, you are contributing to citizen science. Citizen science happens when regular people, even kids, make observations, collect data or information, and pass that data on to scientists. All of the data that people collect and submit for the City Nature Challenge can be used by scientists around the world to learn more about living things around us. So, we know we need to observe wildlife and enter our observations for the City Nature Challenge. But how? We use a free app called iNaturalist, which was created by the California Academy of Sciences and the National Geographic Society. The mobile app is very convenient, but you can also log onto their website and upload observations from your desktop computer. So first, you need to download the app and create an account. This app can be used anytime. It's not just for the City Nature Challenge, so you can use it ahead of time and get some practice. I find it's pretty user-friendly, but if you do have specific questions, you can find lots of details on their website, including video tutorials.
Okay, let's do a practice observation now. Now, it's important to remember that wildlife isn't just animals. It can include all different kinds of living things, including plants and fungi. And since plants don't move around very much, if you're new to iNaturalist, it can be a great thing to practice on. iNaturalist is going to identify your species based on the photo that you take. So you should take the best photo that is possible with your camera. One tip is to get really close and even down on the level of what it is that you're photographing.
Here's an example of some plants I took a picture of. I just stood there and pointed my camera and took a picture. In the second photo, I knelt down and got close, and you can see way more details, and it'll be a lot easier to identify this plant using this second photo.
Okay, so let's make our observation.
Okay, so I have found a plant in the forest with pretty blue flowers on it, and we are going to make an observation. So, I'm going to turn on iNaturalist, and I'm going to tap on Observe. I am using an iPhone. It'll be slightly different if you're using Android, but mostly the same idea. So we're going to tap on Observe down here, which is a little camera button, and we're going to take a picture. We're going to use the camera. All right, and now I'll be able to take a photo. So I'm going to start by taking a close-up of the flowers. So as close as possible without making it blurry, and try to hold it still. All right, if my photo looks good, I can put use photo or I can retake. So I'm going to use that photo. And up here, before we continue, I have a chance to add another photo. And you can actually add up to 5 photos for each observation. This can be useful for some things like plants, where you might want to take a picture of the flower, but also the leaves. Or if it's a tree, you might want to also take a picture of the bark, because all those 3 different things can be useful for identifying. So I'm going to press this plus button to add another picture, use my camera, and take a picture of the leaves. Now I've got both. I'm going to use that photo too. And then below we have a bunch of different information that we can have a look at. We're going to look at what did you see in just a moment, but down here you can see, because I've got the mobile app and I've got my GPS on, it's showing the date, so I don't have to enter that because it's already there, the date and the time. It's got my location. If your GPS is turned off, you're going to have to go back and add that afterwards. You'll have to go find it on a map, but it did that automatically for me, so we're just going to go back. And then you've got geoprivacy. So if you don't want anyone to know where you are,
you can put it on private and it will completely block your location. But this won't be useful for science or useful for the City Nature Challenge. But you can do obscured, which will assign a random location within a 10-kilometer radius for your observation. So it won't say exactly where you are, but it'll give the general area. Or you could do open, which is the default setting, which will show where you are with using GPS, okay? And then down below we have captive or cultivated. That means, was it something that was put there by a human? So if it's in a garden, if it's a plant that someone has planted, or if it's your pet dog or in a zoo, that's wildlife that is not there naturally. Humans have put that wildlife there. So you would tap captive or wildlife. Here it says no, and that is the default setting. If you've done something that's in the wild and not put there by a human, you can just leave that alone, it'll say no. And projects, that won't be necessary for the City Nature Challenge. So now the next important step, what did you see? Now there's an algorithm that iNaturalist uses which will help you identify your species. And if you're using the app and you've got your data turned on, it'll suggest something for you. So they say, we're pretty sure this is in the genus Andersonglossum. Okay, so it's giving me a pretty good identification. And down below, here are some top suggestions based on different species that have been seen nearby by other iNaturalist users. I'm not sure if it's this one. You can actually tap on it for some more information. You can just press I to get some more information. It might be that. It doesn't look exactly like that. I'm just going to say it's probably in this group. Okay, I'm going to suggest that. And then I can tap share. Now, if you don't want to automatically upload all of your stuff, if you don't want to use up your data, you can turn off this setting, I'll show you in a moment, and upload it all once you get home and you're back on your Wi-Fi. So now it's uploading. But if you want, you can change that. But you can actually, if you want to turn off that automatic upload, if you don't want to be using up data like that, just tap on this little button at the top, that little cog wheel. See how it says automatic upload? You can just turn that off. Okay, I'm going to turn it on. I'm close to home. I'm just going to turn it on. Okay, and just turn that and upload it once again when you get home. All right, so there's another step to the identification process. Once it identifies your species using the algorithm, real humans are going to look at your observation as well to confirm the identification. So for example, I've got some red notifications here where people have gone through and agreed with my identification or not, or made a different suggestion. So let's just look at a different example. I had seen this caterpillar. I was pretty sure that this was a swallowtail caterpillar, but I wasn't really sure what kind, so I put common swallowtail. So I didn't put the actual species, but I knew it was in that group. But then 3 different people came along and said, that is a black swallowtail with the name of the species there. And then I was able to agree with that because that seemed like it was what it was.
So the other way to submit photos with iNaturalist is to use your computer. So here I am logged on to my account on my computer, and you would upload by pressing the upload button and using pictures from a different camera. The one different thing with this setting is that you would have to make note of the date and the time and the location of where each observation was made. So one last point I want to make is to do your best to guess what it is that you see, and even if it's not the exact species. So for example, in this one here, I saw this and I knew it was a turtle. Obviously it was a turtle, but I'm not an expert and I didn't know what species. But you were able to put turtles and tortoises. You don't actually have to guess the exact species. And then someone came along later and identified it for me. Another example, here I saw a spider and I couldn't go any further than that, but I was at least able to put arachnids. Now say you saw something that you had no idea what it was, but you at least knew that it was an animal. Well, you can put that too. You can put kingdom Animalia and just have that as your identification. Or you could just put plant or bird. Even that little bit of identification will help people who come along later and try to identify your observations for you.
And those are the basics on how to use iNaturalist. So as long as you're using this app between April 30th and May 3rd, you are automatically participating in the City Nature Challenge. So you don't need to do any other steps to sign up to participate. One last thing about iNaturalist I want to show you are projects. These are not necessary to participate in the City Nature Challenge, but you might be interested.
Here I am on my desktop and I can click on projects. If you were using your mobile app, you would just tap more on the bottom and it would take you to projects. So projects will pool together observations for a particular area. So for example, Natural North Carolina is the iNaturalist project for the Museum of Natural Sciences. So it focuses on North Carolina. But they also have the City Nature Challenge page for North Carolina, which you might be interested in. So we see lots of zeros here because the challenge hasn't actually started yet for 2021. But as the challenge is going on, you can come back to look at all the statistics for North Carolina. And then, of course, there will be other projects for other parts of the world that you can also join.
Now I want to talk to you about ecoEXPLORE. Now, children under the age of 13 shouldn't be using iNaturalist on their own, although there is a parental permission form that you can fill out on the website. Or if a child is using the app with a grown-up, you can be using the grown-up's account. But if you want a program that's designed specifically for children, you can use ecoEXPLORE, and it does connect to iNaturalist.
So here I am on the ecoEXPLORE website. So children can create an account with ecoEXPLORE, they can make observations and take photos, and then upload that information to the website. So unlike iNaturalist, it does not have a mobile app, so you'll have to use it the same way you'd use a website for iNaturalist by uploading the photos and then making note of the date and the time and the location for each observation. So for every observation you make, you can earn points. And if you earn enough points, you can earn a badge. And they have different badges at different times. And then if you earn enough points, you can also collect some prizes. And once your observations are uploaded, staff will submit approved ones to iNaturalist for you.
Thanks for joining us today. I hope you participate in the City Nature Challenge. Just remember to use the iNaturalist app between April 30th and May 3rd. Good luck! Bye!